Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here. Welcome to my review for Power Rangers issue 13, and this is the Power Rangers comic official beginning of the Eltarian War, as last week we had Mighty Morphins. However, this feels more like the actual real beginning of the Eltarian War. Not that issue 13 of Mighty Morphin was bad, but considering they were like, oh my god, it's the Altarian War, it was very much a table setting issue and it felt very underwhelming, and this one felt much more exciting. However, that being said, this is much more like a two-parter, like Mighty Morphin Part 1, Power Rangers Part 2, and I almost wish they had amended the release schedule to release these together, because as a two-issue set, it makes a much more exciting and compelling story together rather than individually, and it kind of took me by surprise, because I kind of assumed that this issue would be a similar thing, and it would be kind of Power Rangers table setting issue, and then issue 14 would be when we start to see them cross over, but I was pleasantly surprised that this played off as both an update to last week's comic, or last issue for Power Rangers, and then basically a part 2 of where we started with Mighty Morphin. But we do pick up where we left off with the Omega Rangers in Peril, and they are saved by our new Omega Ranger, Yale, our first, cat domestic ranger. I was gonna say our first cat ranger, but you know, we had SPD Cat Ranger, but you know what I mean. And he's taking them to this Morphin Masters portal thing, this Morphin Masters archway. And there's this narration about this archway of oh, this is what the Morphin Masters use to travel anywhere, wherever, in time and space. And at first I thought it was Yale talking. I'm like, oh my god, can he talk now? But I guess it was just that bird guy that Yale got help from, and it wasn't the Morphin Master guy, or it wasn't Yale. But that sets up how they're going to be transporting places. And right after they regroup there, they get a message from Tommy from Earth, which we saw them, were wanting to contact them in Mighty Morphin 13. And he's like, you must contact me! But basically he says, you know, we're in trouble, Zordon done dead, we need help, I don't care about all this drama, you gotta get here right away. And that's when we pick up where we left off at the end of Mighty Morphin 13, with the Rangers fighting the Altarian forces as they invaded the Promethea. And it was a really good fight scene between not only the Mighty Morphin Rangers, but then with the Omega Rangers entering, and it had some really cool interactions. And this issue was probably the most I've liked regular Tommy in the comics universe in some time. Because for the most part, since he's become White Ranger, outside of the cool origin story, he's been really boring and kind of Zordon's yes man. And I really liked him contacting the Rangers and saying, you know, I don't care about all the drama. And he also had some really good interactions with Zed'S, and he just came off a lot cooler and more likable in this. I also liked the interactions between the Mighty Morphin team just before the Omegas show up, where they said, you know, I know Zordon has that rule about not escalating a battle, but can we just summon the Zords? And I was like, thank you! I always thought the don't escalate battle was one of the dumbest rules. I just never liked it. It's like, dude, just step on him with the Megazord. It'll be over in 5 seconds. I thought that was a really nice scene. It's also a funny moment when Kim's like, oh, I really want you to join our team, to the Cat Ranger, because she likes him. And then you also have Zach finding out who Matt is, the Green Ranger. I couldn't remember whether the Omegas knew about the new Green Ranger or not, but obviously they seemed to know about him, but they didn't know who he was. But there was just some nice interactions within the fight, which I really appreciated, and a cool bit of Tommy and Jason teaming up. And the art style was different. I guess I never really noticed that the art style was different in Mighty Morphin and Power Rangers, unless it's just this issue, but the Mighty Morphin team's designs looked stylized. Some of them looked kind of weird to me, green was weirdly blocky, which I didn't like, but whites looked kind of neat. It was just kind of a little bit jarring. And then while that's all going on, you have Billy and Alpha, who were kind of attacked by the Altarian soldiers, and Alpha actually plays a really smart move and uses the Draken protocols to stop them. But then when they're in danger again, Jason manages to save them because Goldar and everyone shows up, and Jason saves them by taking them through the portal, but he's able to distract them by telling them that Lord Zed got killed. Now, when did Lord Zed get killed? Well, during the end of this fight with Mighty Morphin and the Omegas, the Imperials start showing up everywhere, and they blow up the command center, and they blow up Zed's palace, and Zed clearly knows it's coming. You know, this was even more of an obvious fake out than Zordon's. I didn't really think Zordon was going to be dead, but that left maybe a little room for him to maybe be dead, but Zed clearly knew it was going to be happening. And even if they didn't have that scene where you could tell he knew it was going to happen, why would they give him so much time and backstory and all this focus if they were just going to kill him off here? It just makes no sense, you know, especially since Mighty Morphin 13 opened up with another Zed flashback, so, you know, we know they're not dead, and we know that Billy and Alpha probably got out of there in the nick of time. And it basically just ends with the Altarian guy being like, once more the Eltarians will rule the galaxy, and we shall have peace. it was just a really great issue. Like, it was so much more exciting and felt much more like the proper exciting beginning to the Altarian War storyline. Like, it hit the ground running with actual conflict, great interactions between the characters, you know, even though we know Zed and everyone's gonna survive, it was still kind of a big moment just aesthetically to have the command center and Zed Rita's palace blow up, because outside of, you know, Ernie's juice bar, those are two of the most notable locations in the series, and the fact that they're exploded just really adds to the weight of this storyline. So it was a nice beat to end off on. You know, it definitely feels like a kind of big status quo changing moment for the timeline, but at the same time, we've come back from those before, because when his palace blew up, I couldn't help but think about back when Zed was sealed by the Omegas, and I thought, oh man, what's this going to mean for the rest of the franchise? And then Zed got woke up again. So by the end of the story, we could very well have both locations back. I think that they might be doing a version of the power chamber from Zeo early, because that's kind of like what happened at the end of season 3 when the command center blew up and then they got the new power chamber up. So that would be kind of interesting if we had the power chamber early, since they're moving Zordon there. I think that would be interesting. But yeah, overall, much better beginning to the Eltarian War. I would give this one a 4 out of 5. Definitely recommend reading these two together, and I wish they had come out together. Like, it made it just seem like a much more impactful beginning to this story. But what did you guys think of this issue? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you're going to see some videos. Dawson Redder, signing out.